I've been interested in Frostblink, which will blast mines for quite some time, and I decided I want to Leaguestarter this time. Some mechanics are making this skill very powerful. First of all, it can double hit with both ends of the teleport. The second moment is that it has a lot of flat damage and it scales pretty well with extra added levels. And another thing is that it has a very big additional multiplier against shield enemies. While the skill cannot shield itself, there are some tools in our disposal to apply shield consistently. So the focus of this setup is to deal a lot of damage. You can make it into all-rounder, but that's not what I'm going for here. The core items here, Bronze Slide, and you socket your Frostblink into it. Plus 5 levels, and on top of this you're getting increased damage with movement skills, and yeah, as you can see, it gives us literally double the damage. Another core item is Gale Sight. It's pretty challenging to get crit capped early on, and we get Brittle from Gale Sight. Losing freeze is a bit unfortunate, but there are easy ways for us to apply chill even with this downside. The first thing is Gold Snap. Gold Snap leaves a chilled ground in the area. That chilled ground will also refresh chill every time we hit with Frostblink and Wintry Blast, so every hit with Frostblink and Wintry Blast will get the mod damage multiplier. The next thing is Gear Bots, pretty good for mapping, but more on them later. I socket Cold Snap into the imbued one with the Trigger mod. This is literally a one mod item, the Temple Trigger mod and crafted Mind Throwing Speed. You can also get this modifier as a crafted suffix, but then you cannot craft Mind Throwing Speed, so it's up to you. If you decide to not run the Trigger mod at all, then you should run Scare Bots and Cold Snap together to save up 2 supports. Other rare items such as generic rares with life, damage, and resistances and whatever we need to cover up. Replica Dragon Fang gives us extra levels on Frostblink and gives us RMR, pretty useful. And another very powerful item is Archon Tools. It just gives us everything we want from an item: mana reservation efficiency, mind throwing speed. We're getting extra Scorching Skitterbot, which will reduce the enemy elemental resistances. And on top of this, we can roll up to 75% increase effect of non-damaging ailments from Skitterbots. But it has a downside, which is that the Skitterbot auras affect us, so we have to solve the ailments applied by them. For shock, you are running Garrokan, and also you can roll jewels with reduced effect of shock on you. With 1 jewel and Garrokan, you have up to 95% reduced effect of shock on you. As for the Scourge, it's pretty straightforward, you're just getting more resistances on the gear. And chill, we actually turn it into an upside with Wintry. And action speed is at the premium because it will affect the mind throwing speed for us. As for the rest of gems, here they are. Impact Mine, Charge Mines, and Minefield, that was considered mandatory. Usually crit damage is the next best one, and then for this one, Inspiration to help us with mana sustain, but you can also run stuff like dropping Mind Damage and Cold Pen. As for the other gems, Zealotry for damage, you can run Grace if you want to. We are Elementalist, so Golem's a go-to thing. Archer's Brand, Frostbite, Assassin's Mark. If you're running one curse, then you're not running Brand setup. And the last gems I got are Automation, Detonate Mines, and Shield Charge, Frostblink. Again, if you're running one curse, then you're just getting yourself a guard skill and then, I don't know, faster attacks with shield charge or something. The Ascendancy itself is pretty straightforward. Leech of the Primordial is very, very powerful. Mastermind Discord is making our exposure a lot more potent. Auto Destruction, and then Champion of Flames for some defensive boosts. I don't mind taking Bastion of Elements for early endgame, but later on it kind of falls off of the cliff. This is the passive tree, we're just taking the good stuff around the area. I would like to focus a bit more on cluster jewels. If you cannot get a large cluster jewel for 2 mediums, I would still recommend to start with at least 1 medium because mediums for mines are very good. Guerrilla Tactics gives us damage, more mind throwing speed and movement speed. And Expert Sabotage is just making the detonation sequence of pre-thrown mines a lot more comfortable, and as well as that the mines can detonate in additional time. To make sure we can preload all mines and still have mana left, I'm running small cluster jewel for 50% increased mana reservation efficiency. Here's the occultist setup, which has some differences, but overall is pretty similar, so it's a toss-up for me. First of all, I'm not self-shielding, so I'm just opting to use pure elements to cover the downsides from the belt. In terms of item differences, I'm running Vixen to get 5 curse setup with Anathema. The way it works is you cast 1 curse, in this example Frostbite, and every curse in your glove slot is getting triggered at the same time. Pretty good for single target purposes. I've dropped golems that I would try Spectre with Zealotry, and another moment is that I'm running EB and Minor Matter here. We have Vile Bastion for recovery, and I would imagine this might be enough, but it remains to be seen. And yeah, overall these PvPs are quite similar, so for me right now it's a bit of a toss-up. I'll speak very briefly about the leveling. I'm quite inexperienced with leveling on the top side. as it is evidenced by my test character name. And my plan is to hop into Frostblink mines as soon as possible, which is somewhere in the middle Act 4 with golems. So I start with rolling magma and the usual stuff. You know how it goes in the Witch. Then I jump into Frostblink, Witcher Blast as soon as I can. There will be a bit of pressure on your chance orbs, and you should get your main skill supports first, then golems, and then the rest. And yeah, that's the passage rate progression. I start with rushing into Elemental Overload, then taking good points, then doing some respec once I'm into Frostblink Witcher Blast mines, and then just taking the good stuff into Shadow area, and so on and so forth. This would be H3 before I would get into Cluster Jewels, more or less. And I guess just for the sake of it, here's what I popped for the ZHP Minmax setup. And yeah, that's just too much damage, I'll be honest. But if you want to go this route, I don't know, you're just killing bosses, and that's the only thing you do, you know, maybe you're only doing Sanctums, then this would be pretty good. And yeah, you could drop a few 100 million DPS and make it into an all-rounder. But that's up to you. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say about the build. I'm quite excited to see how it plays out. The last time I played a topside build on Leaguestar was in Scourge League, so this would be definitely a refresher. If there will be any build developments that are worth highlighting, I might add them in the description. And yeah, otherwise, thanks for watching and have a good one.